This is Josiah Plays Torment, Tides of Numenera. Okay, I am back to play some more Numenera. We're about to talk to this seer, who's ranting out his various prophecies and so forth. Tarawak, there's absolutely no chance I'll beat the game in an hour and a half. There's no chance I'll beat the game in 15 hours. There's no chance I'll beat the game in 30 hours. When Josiah plays at what we call Josiah speed, and Josiah speed is incredibly slow, as you can see, as you will come to find out. Sorrow stalks the streets, feeding on the marked. Beware her sour breath. She's been eating onions. I don't know what the last thing he said was. All right, let's talk to the seer, okay? That's what we're gonna do. Every prophet's gotta eat. How's about a little donation, eh? You gonna put some shins in the bucket or just stand there gawking? I don't prophesize for free, pal. It'll be a miracle if I finish in a month. Yeah. It very well might take me a month. That's not even a joke. At least 2 weeks. It'll probably take me at least 2 weeks. Just making it up as I go, pal. No worries. It's all in fun. See, he says that, but I think his prophecies are actually going to be relevant. Alright, so we've got some other people here. Hey! I recognize these names. I have a book. I have a book that I found that belongs to them, see? Belinda and Starisi booksellers. Let's talk to them and let them know I have their book. It's the inverse of ludicrous speed in Spaceballs, yes. Alright. Nearly every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures its head, and a mask conceals its face. This doesn't stop you from noticing that it is apparently furious with you. Trembling, it bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn impassive masks back to you.
Neither Felinda nor Starisi could believe it, but the thief had come back. Had she come in shame, ready to return what she had taken? No. Her hands were empty, her expression baffled.
Belinda crossed swaddled arms.
Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten to return what she had borrowed, but this made her no less a thief.
Hey, Simba377, how you doing? I'm liking this game a lot so far. A lot. Of course, Planescape Torment's my favorite game of all time, and this is a spiritual successor to it, so it's expected that I would like it a lot. Are you narrating me?
The thief said, trying to distract Felinda from the matter at hand, but the merchant would not be distracted. 10 years ago, this thief had borrowed a book. Felinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. It did not mean taking a thing and keeping it, after all.
This bookseller is funny. Starisi pointedly returns to work. Oh. Oh no, it's all been Felinda so far. Ignoring you both. Felinda sighs, massaging its temples with gloved hands.
But in the end, Felinda took a deep, deep breath and asked the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with the 5-colored sigil on its cover.
How can you possibly remember who borrowed a book from you 10 years ago?
The cunning thief said, hoping to arouse doubt in Felinda's mind, but the hope was a foolish one. Felinda was memory in the same way that the thief was fatty tissue, fluids, and chunks of calcium.
The merchant crosses its arms.
Felinda was out of patience. Was the thief going to return the book or not?
That's a great excuse for theft. No, Your Honor, I didn't take anything. It was a previous inhabitant of this body. I can't promise anything, but I'll look for it. The thief muttered, ashamed, but Felinda was satisfied, temporarily. And with that, the merchant returns... Oh.
The thief muttered, ashamed, but Felinda was satisfied, temporarily.
And with that, the merchant returns to its work as well. Why do you narrate everything I say?
The thief said, but Felinda knew from long experience that there was no explaining it.
The merchant kneels before a bookshelf and jams book after book into the remaining space.
This frustrated Felinda. After all, the two merchants were creatures of words, bound in metal and cloth, but whenever Felinda tried to bend these same words into explanations and answers, they crumbled and fell apart. They could not fold themselves around the truth.
The merchant slams a final book into place.
And so Felinda said nothing.
Why won't you tell me while you're narrating everything I say?
The thief pleaded. She still did not understand that Felinda wasn't speaking. That what the thief was hearing was the passage of time.
Farewell.
I'll remember that.
So I got a quest, borrowed and lost. And I had already found the book before even getting the quest, so that's nice. Felinda, a bookseller and circus miner, has accused me of borrowing a very rare book and never returning it. I have no memory of such a thing, so it seems likely that the changing god was the real culprit, perhaps when he was wearing the body that is now mine. It seemed important to Felinda that I find and return the book. I need to find the book that I supposedly borrowed. Felinda didn't provide any clues about its whereabouts, but did mention that the book has a 5-colored sigil on its cover. I found the missing book in the Changing God's Sanctuary. It's called the Tome of Singing Thorns, though it doesn't appear to be an ordinary book. Felinda should still be at her stall in Circus Minor when I'm ready to return the book. But I can't, like, do anything with this. I can use it. I can use... Wait, I can use the bronze sphere? What? I can use the bronze sphere? I didn't even realize this until right now. Hold on. Hold on. You pearl the... Oh, I just missed out on the description. Because I didn't read it because I was gonna... And then I immediately saved. You pull the world orb from your bags. The sigil buttons rise obediently from its surface, waiting to be pressed. Let's hold the orb up to the light. Light is faintly visible through the curves of this orb's inner spirals, but only just. You see flickers of movement within. Mechanisms, perhaps. Well, that's what I was saying earlier, Darnaz. I feel like I shouldn't sell anything in this, but I'm still going to sell oddities because I think the purpose of them is to be sold. That's why they're worth so much money, and you can't use them or anything. I mean, if it's a quest item, it goes into the quest item inventory anyway, like the book did. So you couldn't have sold the book anyway. Light sparkles off the razor innards of the sphere. The movement you spotted before is nowhere to be seen. I'm going to touch the button with the circle of interlocking hand mirrors engraved upon it. You press the button with your thumb and instantly feel eyes, countless eyes, outnumbering the stars, turn towards you, seeking your identity and your secrets. Callistige and her sisters. Interesting. The sphere connects you to people you have met in the real world. And more than that, you sense at some instinctual level that it can transport them to you if you call them while pressing the button and they're willing to come. Push it again. You thumb the button and again feel the eyes of Callistige's countless sisters upon you. You leave your companion alone for now. You have enough people with you. Oh, so am I going to be able to use this to summon all my different companions eventually in the game? Interesting. Okay. The Tome of Singing Thorns. I didn't think I could use this either, but apparently I can. The pages of this ancient heavy book rustle as if waiting to be turned. A cast-off tattoo is inscribed onto the title page. Someone has attached a much newer tag to the binding which reads, "Exclusive property of Felinda and Staristi booksellers." It's like a smartphone with a Car2Go app, I guess. I don't know what that is. You flip open the cover of the Tome of Singing Thorns. On the title page is a cast-off's tattoo divided into 5 curving triangular shapes, the color of each tide. Ah, so there's 5 tides. With a small inscription beneath. You try turning to the next page, but can't. It's as if the pages are a solid block of paper. You lay your hand on the title page's rough, somewhat metallic surface, and the sharp triangular shapes spring up around your fingers with a vibrating hum. The possibility of losing your fingers to this book was a danger Felinda somehow neglected to mention. Let's read the inscription. It is written in a firm, sharp hand that nearly carved the letters through the page. Symptoms: cyanosis, hemophilia, spontaneous bruising, jaundice, argyria. See her as she was. You do not deserve to forget what you lost. What is this? This is very mysterious. Yeah, blue, red, indigo, silver, and gold. Those are the tides, yeah. I thought there was one more, though. Thought there was one more. But I guess there's not. I don't know if I should be fucking with this. Let's touch the... Let's touch the... What is Argyria? Or Argyria? Argyria? What is that? Well, let's touch the blue thorn and see what happens. Or the gold thorn. Let's touch the gold thorn. You caress the golden thorn. A warm note rises from within it, making your fingers tingle. After a moment, the music fades abruptly. Let's touch it again. Let's touch the blue thorn. You experimentally run your finger along the back of the blue thorn. The moment raises a cool, complex note from the curved surface. Red thorn? Carefully pluck the crimson thorn like a stringed instrument. A note rises from the vibrating razor edge. It hangs in the air, trembling. Silver thorn? You prod the silver thorn, producing a high, pure note. After a moment, the music fades abruptly. Indigo thorn? You tap this dense thorn, coaxing a multitude of tiny chime-like sounds from the metal. As you listen, they coalesce into a single firm note. Okay, I think I know what I need to do here. I need to blend the notes in the proper order, I think. And I think the proper order is going to be this order. That one's red. That one's gold. That one's silver. Blue and purple. I think it's going to be blue, red, indigo, gold, silver. Blue, red, indigo, gold, silver is what I'm thinking. Oh, I fucked up. No, I didn't. I did it right. The note rises into the air. Okay, now we're talking. The notes surrounding you scatter into silence as if swept aside by an impatient hand. The book blurs open, flipping from page to page faster than you can read. But still, you catch glimpses, neat tables of strange creatures and their tidal affinities. Dwindling question marks on each page the author understood more and more. And through it all, you feel the book reading you, touching parts of your mind, erasing uncertainties, and reopening portions that have long been closed. Permanently gained intellect pool. Nice. Nice. The book closes with a firm, satisfying thud. So I'm probably done with this thing then. Just do it one more time. Something different happened! This is amazing. You finish the song again. This time the music doesn't fade. The book twists in your hands and begins flipping from the end of the book backwards. You see, in inky shadows, a bed, and the dying young woman upon it. She clutches the blankets to her throat, fists shaking. Silent tears wet the pillow beneath her cheeks. Her teeth are set against the pain. And the singing continues, cracked with the hope that it will bring her peace and let her sleep. Wow. Who is this woman? What is the story behind this? Well, obviously we have to try it again now. Blue, red, indigo, gold, silver. When you complete the song this time, the book does not open at all. Alright, now let's get tricky. Let's do it backwards. And see if anything happens. Silver, gold, indigo, red, blue. I don't think it's going to do anything. No, it doesn't do anything. Alright. Let's put it away. I guess we're ready to give the book back to Felinda now.
The thief returned, the merchant says. Felinda wondered why, but did not ask. What did the book look like? The thief said, playing coy, and knowing full well that it was a large book called the Tome of Singing Thorns, bound in the skins of unknown animals and branded with a jagged symbol divided into 5 different colors: red, blue, silver, gold, and purplish. Can you remind me what the book looks like again? No, I'm just trolling her. The thief said. Felinda reminded her that it was a large, skin-bound book called the Tome of Singing Thorns. Well, here's the Tome of Singing Thorns. You're welcome. Felinda snatched the book from the thief's hands, the merchant says, doing so. And yes, it was the same book. Still sealed, still worthless, still priceless. The merchant traces the sigil on the cover for a long, silent moment. As a reward, Felinda invited the thief, the customer, to take, yes, take, one of the merchant's more ragged books as payment. Stock space was limited after all, and the customer would be doing Felinda and Staristi a favor. You lean forward to examine Felinda's bookshelf.
Oh, I have to pick a book? What? I have to pick one? No! How can I possibly choose one? How can I possibly choose one? I've gotta save scum this. I've gotta save scum this. I've gotta see them all. I have to. Hold on a second. Or I can say no and raise my gold tide. Interesting. Hold on. Just wait. 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 Are you waiting? Wait. I'm almost dry from when I dumped water all over myself, so that's just an update for y'all. Alright, did I already do the book in this save game? I think I did. Okay, I've already done it. So I'm quick saving. We're gonna check out the different books.
Making a note.
Alright, Angul and the Greater Good, The Rise of the Angulan Knights. That's indigo. 2 weeks and a day in the pleasure wagons of Awesome's traveling menagerie and soaring circus. That might be red. Known powers, a historical examination of the rulers of the Ninth World is silver. Wait, there's only 4 though. There's only 4 and there's 5 tides. Oh, saying no is the gold tide. Humming and hiding the secrets of the labyrinth of sound is blue. Saying nothing is gold. This one is silver, this one is blue, this one is red, and this one is indigo. But I still want to check them out, because these books could be readable. Angul and the Greater Good. Angul and the Greater Good, The Rise of the Angulan Knights. Indigo and blue, huh? Belinda handed the book over. Personally, the merchant thought it was... Oh. Belinda handed the book over. Personally, the merchant thought it was trash, but everything was worth reading at least once. I really can read it. Okay, hold on. Sour bunch, the Angulans, Tabir says, his face a mask of stern disapproval. Murderous, too, if your body's the wrong shape. They make me ashamed to be human. The thief's companion said, wondering if Belinda was naked beneath those heavy robes. Belinda says, sighing. Tibir blinks, then turns to you. Guilty, he says, shrugging. Eh, well. Wonder if Belinda is related to Rosati? I don't think so. So we've got... It's worth 120 as well. 120 shins. Angul and the Greater Good, The Rise of the Angulan Knights. Girar, the handsome young human Aeon priest, whirled around, holding his quarterstaff before him. The mob of disgusting, slobbering, diseased, ignorant mutants and baby-stealing Man, this is some really propaganda. And baby-stealing visitants closed like a dripping fist around him. And the innocent children he had sworn to protect. So the Angulan Knights sound like some fucking Nazis to me. For Midgard and the future of humanity, shouted Angul, champion of humans everywhere and the last hope of kindness and decency in the Ninth World. She charged into the clustered hordes of monsters, slashing left and right. The creatures felt no pain, for they had no souls. I love you, Gerar cried. Wait, who the fuck is Gerar? Oh, Gerar is the handsome young Aeon priest, and Angul is the female knight, or whatever. I love you, Gerar cried. Do you hear me, damn you? I love you, Angul. I am sorry, noble priest, Angul said, beheading a gibbering freak. My heart belongs to my eternal mission. Your mission to secure the future of humanity from the inhuman horrors of the past? That's right, Anguil said. Now flee and take those innocent children with you. I will defend you and the future you represent to the last. This is not good writing. The rest of the page is blotted with the previous reader's tear stains and completely unreadable. Fuck this book. Fuck this book. We're gonna check out the other ones. We're gonna check them out. How many hours in are we now? Mr. Scotty Mac, welcome back. Good to see you again. We are like 19 hours in. Like 19 hours in. Yeah, blue is like wisdom and knowledge. Red is more so than pleasure, it's action. It's action and passion and sort of... But action is the number one thing for red, I think. Versus thinking about things, just doing things. Indigo is, yeah, the greater good is indigo. Versus the good of the individual. Gold is more of compassion and the good of the individual. Silver is power. Power and influence. That book suddenly turned from Nazi propaganda to an 80s action movie. Just got back from watching Logan. Oh, how was it? How was it? I'd like to watch that. I like Wolverine a lot. He's one of my favorite comic book characters.
No need to hurry on my account.
Matt Keena just said, I've just been planning deaths. No need to, because she is an assassin.
Making a note.
Alright, let's check out 2 weeks in a day. 2 weeks in a day in the pleasure wagons of Awesome's traveling menagerie and soaring circus. It was outstanding? Really? Great to hear that, Mr. Scotty Mac. I was really not hoping, but I was really expecting to hear people start saying that it was terrible, just because, you know, oftentimes comic book movies end up being terrible. But not always. Sometimes they're really good. I'm glad to hear it was good. Red Tide. Concealing surprise, Valinda handed the book over. Tales of lustful abandon hardly seemed the customer's type. Gained item 2 weeks in a day. A reader after my own heart! The thief's companion said, wondering if Valinda was naked beneath those heavy robes. Oh, he probably always wonders if Valinda was naked. Guilty. Alright, let's check this book out. 2 weeks in a day. In the pleasure wagons of Awesome's traveling menagerie and soaring circus. Day 15. Light. Greasy, throbbing sunlight. In my eye. Tried to move. Couldn't. Well, that was it, I reasoned. I wasn't just hungover. I was paralyzed. Bound to happen eventually. Someone must have mistaken me for the lovely contortionist with the unigran tattoo, and twisted me like a length of rope to get at my tender parts. Which, of course, I did appreciate, even now. I cleared my throat to call politely for help, and a husky voice mumbled something obscene. And somewhat half-hearted, it was dawn after all, in my right ear. A bare hip settled comfortably into the palm of my left hand as another of my nameless companions got comfortable. And then, of course, I realized the truth. I was not paralyzed. My limbs were merely pinned by the 30 or so strangers sharing the small bed with me. What a relief. Nice. 30 people on a bed, though. I don't know. I'm sensing some logistical problems there. Yeah, greasy and throbbing, huh? As soon as they use the word turgid, we know exactly what's going on. Exactly, Mr. Scotty Mac. The only downside is that this one being 18A and being so awesome makes me sad for the other movies, as they should have been so much better. I assume 18A is the rating, like an R rating in America, for like adults only or whatever. Yeah, I feel like any Wolverine movie should have been for adults only, because Wolverine, the comic book, was full of some intense and edgy shit. I mean, it was not a comic book for kids, really. At least not in the era when I read it. We can now seal Jackman in a lead-lined container and save him for future generations. Alright, hold on. Let's check out these other books. Let's check out Humming and Hiding, The Secrets of the Labyrinth of Sound. That's going to be blue.
Belinda gladly handed the book over. The Labyrinth of Sound was an intriguing topic indeed.
I'd like to borrow that when you're through, Tabir says, stroking his chin. It sounds fascinating. And then she says the same thing as always, and he says the same thing as always. And we go to our new book, Humming and Hiding. The Secrets of the Labyrinth of Sound. I will not tell you why I found myself lost within the crumbling tower of Chasmus Goal, nor will I speak on the state I found myself in, or who was with me. Promises were made in the spiraling depths of the Labyrinth of Sound. Promises I intend to keep. Instead, I will tell you of my escape from that echoing prison. But Crasha, you might say, I know enough of the labyrinth to say that it is but a dark room, navigated by music rather than crude movement. Furthermore, it is deserted. One will not, for example, stumble over bands of thieving Murden there, as you did in your thrilling account of the crossing of Deep Vormask. To this, I respectfully ask you to close this book and explore the labyrinth on your own, bereft of my guidance. You will find the melody-scarred bones of my friends still cooling there. You will stumble over grotesque evidence of the choices I made to escape those lightless halls, and you will see how far your rudimentary knowledge will take you. Otherwise, remain silent and read on. I would fucking read books by this guy. This guy is so sassy as an author. I would read this guy's books. I would read this guy's books, for real. Labyrinth of Sound sounds cool. I wonder if that's in the game. What exactly are shins? Shins are shiny coin-like objects treated as currency in the Ninth World. And we saw a better description of them earlier, a longer description, that basically they're like bottle caps from Fallout. They're basically just random little bits of shiny junk that people pick up and decide, hey, these are shins. It seemed a little bit dodgy to me as a currency system, because you could basically pick up anything and call it a shin. And as long as somebody else would be willing to accept it as a shin, I guess it is one.
I'll remember that.
And the final book, Known Powers, a historical examination of the rulers of the Ninth World, Silvertide.
Belinda handed the book over, adding that the chapters covering the legacies of each ruler were particularly fascinating.
They're also the front parts of lower legs. Good one, Nox. Good one. That does sound fascinating, Tabir agrees, eyeing the merchant with interest. You have fine taste in books. Known Powers, a historical examination of the rulers of the Ninth World. The kingdom of Malavik is defined by two unfortunate traits, a thirst for conquest and a peculiar type of chasm-related insanity that descends upon every monarch the country has ever had sooner or later. I am, of course, speaking of the Voil Chasm, or Earth Wound, the vast rift dividing Malavik from their rivals in the Pytharon Empire. Each ruler of Malavik in recorded history has become obsessed with the chasm in one form or another. Some have sought to cross or bridge it, with the lofty goal of conquering the neighboring empire. Others have tried to reach the bottom of the glowing wound. All have failed to various catastrophic degrees. Wow. Getting crizzy in the chasm, apparently. Alright. Last reload. This time I am gonna not take a book. I think. Or do I want one? I'm all blue. Earlier I was blue/gold. Half the thing was gold and half was blue. But now I'm just blue. I kind of want to be blue/gold. I kind of want to build up my gold. Because my blue gets raised a lot, it seems like. Why am I wielding what looks like a sperm cell? I'm not wielding something that looks like a sperm cell. It's a fucking lightning gun. It's got like these tines and with lightning crackling around them. And it attaches to my arm. Let me see if I can... See, it attaches to the arm right there, and then it's got... in your inventory. I don't see anything here that looks like a sperm cell, really. You talking about this crystal? Oh, you're talking about this thing? That does kind of look like a sperm cell, actually. If this is what you're talking about. Jackstor, how you doing? Welcome. That does kind of look like a sperm cell, you're right. It's a small glass plate fashioned into a pin. It's got a whole bunch of little eyes. AKA little sperm cells. I don't know. It's got a bunch of little eyes that reveal weaknesses in foes. Alright, anything to talk to Felinda about now? The thief returned, the merchant says. Oh, I have to turn the book in again. Felinda wondered why, but did not ask. Alright, we'll go through this again one more time.
I think I'm ready to try something new.
I'm either going to take The Secrets of the Labyrinth of Sound or no book at all. I think I'm going to take no book at all. Doing great, thanks. Glad to hear it, Jackstor. Or is it J Hackstore or Jackstor? What's up, Chris Darrell? How you doing? Sperm with eyes, yes, indeed. How do I like it so far? I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Alright. Let's take no book. Honestly, I'd be embarrassed to take another book from you. The customer admitted, and Felinda respected her for that. The merchant says warmly. The merchant thanked her again. Farewell. Alright, nothing new there. What about Staristi? Does he have anything to say? Oh, look. Tabir is ready to get an advancement. Let's see. No. I don't know. Oh, he's tier 2. He can get anything. Of course, you always increase edge first, because edge is friggin' amazing. It's all about that edge. Gotta become more of an edgelord. They're all Zelda crazy. Not a lot of people streaming it. I do for good voices. Oh, I think my voices are really terrible, but thank you. What kind of edge do we want him to have, though? Sucker Punch takes might. Hook takes might. That takes intellect. I think we should give him a point of might edge. Even though his sword attacks using speed. Both people you've watched play this so far have read in voices. You like it? How's it going, Lady Jessica? I always read in voices when I do these kind of games. Yeah, it's fun. Even though I'm not very good at it. Give him a point of might edge. Alright, Starista, you got anything to say? The silent merchant traces dark fingers over a cracked scroll. It appears to be ignoring you as politely as possible. I'm gonna watch him work. Or it work. The merchant's spread-fingered hands glide over a faded parchment with the faint sounds of quills scratching. Vibrant letters in an unfamiliar tongue appear in their wake. I'm gonna watch him work some more. The merchant again passes a hand over the page, and you hear the scrape of quill on paper. Dark letters emerge from the shadow of that hand, as if pulled from beneath the page. Let's keep watching. Says the same thing. If I keep watching, does eventually something happen? I don't think so. Like a beautiful unicorn with the head of a whipped scorpion. Wow. That sounds terrible. Why is your partner narrating me? Starista either ignores you or does not hear you. Why don't you talk? The merchant does not acknowledge your question in the slightest. Alright, well, we're not going to get anything out of Starista, I guess. There is no peace, not in light nor in darkness. You are hunted by your past, by your own mind. Alright, we've got an arms merchant here. From a distance, these books and scrolls appear to be haphazardly piled together, but closer up, small plaques with categories inscribed on them reveal an order to the seeming chaos. You played a little of the old Torment years ago, been excited. Me too. The old Torment is actually my favorite game of all time, so I've been super excited for this. Armors of wildly different materials are arrayed neatly within the stall. The sign over this stall says, The Arming Room. Buy, sell, trade. Under the awning, a skinny man with stooped shoulders and a concave chest is cleaning a filth-caked weapon of some kind. He salutes you with a greasy hand. Done in a moment. Have a look around. If you need anything, let me know. What can you tell me about Sage's Cliffs? Good place for the arms trade. Not much call for weapons in the city proper. It's true. Levies keep things quiet. He shrugs. I get most of my business from mercenary companies. The endless battle draws them by the dozens. Explorers, too. Plenty of carcass save up their shins and kit themselves out all fancy-like. Then they wander down the reef or into the bloom and never come back. Tell me again what you know about Sage's Cliffs. Like I said, it's a good place for my trade. Plenty of mercenaries and explorers passing through. Last chance they'll have to kit themselves out, so most of them stop by here. Show me what you have for sale. Alright, oh man, he's got all kinds of weapons. He's got a dagger. A well-used, carefully honed dagger. One of the simplest weapons available, but in the right hands, also one of the most lethally quick. Another dagger. A rapier. This slim, sharp sword requires greater precision than a broadsword, but is utterly lethal in the right hands. A decorative hilt protects the wearer's hand. So that uses it's a light weapon based on speed. It tells you whether you use speed or might with each weapon. Then there's a broadsword, which also uses speed. This typical sword has a few notches, scars earned from long years of use. Then there's a Vered. This is a Numenera specific weapon here. This weapon resembles a sword with two forked blades. It is shorter than an ordinary sword. Its unique shape makes it useful for both offense and defense. It does more damage as a one-handed speed weapon. Of course, a mace. We've had maces already. A great sword. Now we're getting somewhere. That's a might-based weapon. Utterly lethal. Oh, knocks you and your rapier wit. Oh, man. Here they go. They're off to the races. Large, heavy, and sharp, this enormous blade is truly deadly. It requires two hands to use. A regular shield. Many of them. A crossbow. Medium-ranged weapon. Does 5 damage based on speed. This is a basic crossbow, a bow assembly mounted horizontally on a wooden stock. It's slower than an ordinary bow, but has great accuracy. A concussive truncheon. Now it's getting interesting. It's a light weapon that does 4 physical. On critical hits, confers stunned. Active 1 round. Wow, that's pretty cool. Axing the question before he gets to the axe. This weapon releases a pulse of disorienting energy when striking the enemy's more vulnerable parts. A battle axe. Ah, there's a medium might-based weapon. Lots of damage. With a nicely spike on the back and a fine polished edge on the front, this axe is light enough to be used with one hand, but still heavy enough to do serious damage. And another broadsword. Well, I've got a broadsword here that I'm carrying around, but I don't want to sell it yet because somebody might need it. I don't actually know. He's got that mace. He's good to go with that mace. He's got the healing sword. She's got her sonic blade. And I have my sting charge, so I don't think we're going to buy any weapons. Can you use a shield with your gun? That is actually a good question. I can test that out by taking his shield. I can use a shield with my gun. Good call, Kristaril. His mace does extra chemical damage on every swing. Which is pretty nice. Well, Saito, no one can make guns, is the thing. This is a medieval tech level. Even though, yeah, you see all this high-tech shit around, they can't make this stuff. They don't know how. Everything is just found. Numenera that's repurposed somehow. So stuff isn't really common because you have to go out and find it somewhere. You can't go to the gun shop and or the gun factory where they make guns because they don't. The only things they can make is crap like swords and crossbows and stuff. Everything else, like I said, is a found artifact. So it's not really that common. Can he dual wield? I don't know. Well, not with the gun. I need, like, maybe light weapons. If I had 2 light weapons, maybe I could dual wield. It kind of doesn't look like it, though. But we can all use a shield, apparently. Including her. Shields for everybody. Let's get some more shields. It's only 15, so let's get 3 of them. And you get a shield. And you get a shield. And you get a shield. Shields all around. Can't move that quest item to that other slot. Hooray for evasion. She's got 65%. That's pretty fucking good. Alright. I'm gonna sell this broadsword. I don't think I'm gonna need it. Alright, that's it for now with the shopping. Oh, the genocide. Pretty excited about talking to somebody named the Genocide. Let's see what's over here first, though. What's this say? Small vandalous phrases are etched into the lower portions of these statues. Declarations of love, defamatory attacks, and announcements of localized existence whispering in stone from across the centuries. These are some pretty cool statues. And then these glowy bits here, whatever they are. And of course people have vandalized and stuff. That's what people do. I'm sure you and the nice magic item you found will be very happy. Some people didn't get any magic items. Oh, you're talking about the D&D game. Yeah. That's true. Some people didn't. Nazir was here. Yeah. Alright, let's find out what happens when I mess with this. A jumble of boulders and debris lies at the foot of the surrounding cliffside. The broken remains of ancient devices lie amongst the fallen stone, while left to one side, a metallic canister sticks out of the top of the pile. It appears mostly intact. I don't think I'm ready to pick a fight from that mirror yet, Terawak. Those guys were pretty hard. We'll do some more side quests first. Alright, appears mostly intact. Let's examine the canister. Leaning over, you notice that the container is hollow, with an opening in the top providing full access to the interior. A quick glance reveals that it is empty. While most of the canister is relatively intact, a small part of its exterior wall has been pried open, exposing delicate mechanisms. Let's examine the rocks. You notice a slight gleam as the light hits some of the rocks at just the right angle. You lean closer. Tiny mechanical devices are embedded in the rock. A quick search of the rest of the pile reveals that only a small percentage of the rocks are more than they appear. So I can try to smash some stones. I can try to quick fingers out some stuff from the canister. I can try putting the rocks in the canister. Let's try that. You scoop up a handful of the smaller rocks and start placing them in the canister. As you place some of the rocks, the container beeps. Through trial and error, you discover that it only does this for the stones containing devices. You empty the canister and make sure to only place stones with devices into it. Just as you run out of such stones, a low tone sounds and two small buttons extend from the exterior of the canister about half a finger's width. Upon reaching full extension, the buttons light up, one with an aqua-colored light and another with a golden light. Oh no, which button do I press? We're gonna go aqua. A translucent, smoky gray film extends over the top of the canister and the buttons retract entirely. Dim light flashes once within the dark recesses of the container, then the film retracts. I got a cipher. Peeking within the newly opened canister, you see a small pile of shiny components that can be used as shins. These must be all the components that were embedded in the rocks you placed in the canister. And I gain Shade of the Desert Sun. This small pyramidal object was found near the oasis of Mirajolios by a traveler who stumbled upon a particularly unexplainable patch of shade on the hottest day of the year. The pyramid is barely a finger's length in any direction, and looks to be made of a crude sort of glass, so dark and malformed as to be nearly opaque. A small creature, or something, can be seen moving inside. A soft skittering sound whispers from within the pyramid. If it is shaken, the sound increases dramatically in volume, as if something within were awakened and agitated by the jarring motion. This sounds like a creepy little pyramid. The object makes its owner feel remarkably cooler, like passing through a tree's shadow on a hot day. First Shade of the Desert Sun. For an entire crisis, plus 7 resistance. That is really good. That is really good. Let's try putting more rocks in the canister. Proficient at smashing. Actually, Alec Aaron is proficient in smashing. Which is pretty funny. Quickly gathering up another handful of rocks and pebbles, you dump them into the open canister, but nothing happens. You empty and fill it a few times to be sure, but the device remains silent throughout. Okay, hold on. We gotta see what happens when you press the other button. For science. For science. There's a lot of science that takes place. And science here is a code word for save scumming. Examine the canister. Examine the rocks. Put the rocks in the canister. Press the gold button. A translucent, smoky gray film extends over the top of the canister and the buttons retract entirely. Dim light flashes once within the dark recesses of the container, then the film retracts. We got a different cipher. Peeking within the newly opened canister, you see only a small device within. No trace of the rocks remains. You quickly pocket the device. This time we got Conflict Advisor. This jagged crystal is a polished fragment hewn from a gigantic crystal body toppled in the beyond. How do I know that? Each fragment contains a vast number of nanites that can be absorbed by letting the crystal dissolve in your mouth. Once ingested, the nanites call upon into a huge bank of military history and knowledge to provide unique insights into combat and tactics. Unfortunately, this knowledge is impossible to retain for long. So for the entire crisis, this gives you plus 30% evasion and plus 45% on attacks. Wow. I like that better than the other one. Put the rocks in the canister and smash them up. Put the rocks in the canister and then you'll get a negative fetter. Oh, I thought you were going to rhyme there. It's fettle. And that's only because I'm carrying too many ciphers. As soon as I trade one to somebody else, I won't have the fettle anymore. What if you use your lore skill? Well, I don't actually have the lore skill. I can try to use it, but like I don't have it, so my chance will be really poor. Plus, I don't think... Smash the stones to extract what you can. That's always an option, no matter what. So I guess we need to check out one more possibility, don't we? Because Tarawak mentioned, what if? You know what it's time for, though? Amazingly, it appears that I have 26 viewers. Hello, 26 people. Unless Twitch is lying, which it really often does, so I probably really have like 6 viewers, and it's just fucking with me. But it's time to end this episode. If you're watching the stream, do not go anywhere, because not only am I going to keep playing, but I'm about to give away a copy of the game. If you're watching on YouTube, though, that's the end of this episode. So thanks for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Torment, Tides of Numenera.